time, I actually did a lot of extracurricular things at the college as well. So there's a program that is now called Enactus. Well, it was SIFE in the time that I was there, and I was the president of that organization. And so I ran about 4 campuses with about 104 students, and we ran about 20 projects in our community to better the community. So I don't know if you've heard of like the Dragon's Den through the schools. So that program kind of started from SIFE back in the day when I was in that program. And so from all of that, networking, meeting new people, that's where I met Cher, one of the branch managers of the Bank of Montreal, once I graduated. And I kind of went in and chit-chatted with her a bit about what career opportunities they had and where I could go with my business degree. And then she offered, well, hey, why don't you come back and talk to our regional vice president and see if there's an opportunity for like branch manager training program, because I think that would be a good suit for you. So, I was quite nervous because a regional vice president of a bank, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be an interesting experience for me. But I had a fantastic conversation with him, and I was able to get that position because of all of the networking and all of the things that I learned through my college experience. And so from there, I just kind of escalated my career, really. And so I started right at the teller line, learning how to do all those day-to-day transactions, moving into the assistant manager role, then moving into the personal banker role, and then back to an assistant manager role. And then really, I'm kind of the one holding back my career right now because of my family. So let me kind of go back a little bit, and I'm going to go over a little bit of how I got there. So, I found that the schooling and all the training and stuff like that, there was more preparation that you needed to do to get into that role, and so the bank helped me get there. And so, I have training on mutual funds, I have training on compliance and all sorts of different things to be able to do my job. So, really, my career is a little bit different than the first guy, where I went to school and then went right into a corporation. So I kind of really want to open up, and I'm really interested to know what you guys kind of want to hear from me and what your guys' questions are and how I do my day-to-day job. So go ahead.
What's your name?
My name is Caroline. Caroline Christian. Caroline Christian. Go ahead.
You have to do math?
Yeah, oh yeah, all the time. So constant calculations with math and anything to do with that, really, right? Investments, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, definite math all the time. Go ahead.
Do you love what you do?
You know what? I do. And the reason I love what I do is because I'm helping others get to where they want to be in their careers. So I definitely enjoy that. Right now, I'm in the personal banker role. So I just had 6 months in West Kelowna as the assistant manager. And then I decided to come back to Penticton and go into the personal banker role. So I'm doing mortgages, loans, account opens, investments for people. And the thing I love about that is that I get to sit, I get to meet new people every day, I get to learn about their life, I get to learn about everything that's going on with them and help them buy their house for their first time, or consolidate their debt so that they're in a better position, so that they don't have to be stressed about payments that they're making every month. So yeah, I definitely do really enjoy my job. Go ahead.
Do you live in town or do you have a
I do. So I live in town right now, and that was my main thing. So I have 2 little boys at home, and so I was commuting every day out to West Kelowna for the last 6 months, which was totally fine. I mean, the drive is beautiful, and it was good for me for that time, but family right now is like number 1 to me, and so I decided to I call it a lateral move within the bank, and so instead of taking a permanent role out there, I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to really get good at the job I'm in here in Penticton for a little while, and once my kids get older, then I'll be able to commute or move to do banking. So that's another piece as well, is that when I first started, being mobile was very important. So, being able to move to different places, to try different things. In banking, that is definitely a huge thing to kind of get your career escalated. So in that first year that I was with BMO, I think within 6 months, they moved me to Trail, BC. So I lived in Trail with my husband for about a year and a half. And I was the assistant manager there, and doing some of my training to be a personal banker as well, so understanding mortgages and all of that kind of stuff. So, and at that time, once it was time to kind of decide to go somewhere else, they came to me and they offered me, do you want to go to Kitimat, or do you want to go back to Penticton? And so, I kind of balanced the decisions based on what we wanted in our family. And Kitimat would have been great, but the cost of living and all of that kind of stuff was just too out of range for me. And so that's why I decided to come back to Canada. And so my career has been, more stable in this Okanagan area right now, but I could really go anywhere if I wanted to, so which is really cool. Yeah, so we work 40 hours a week. So we're about at 8:30 till 5 is usually what I work. There is some flexibility in that. With my kids, sometimes I'm not there till 9 o'clock, so I'll just stay a little bit later in the day. The bank actually doesn't open until 9:30, so we don't see customers until that 9:30, or we don't have to do our, day-to-day stuff until that time. So at that time, you have a little bit of flexibility in the morning with that hour before you get there. And then at the end of the day, you have some flexibility too if you need to stay late. So, you're paid for the 40 hours. I find that, for me to do a really good job, and sometimes you have a really difficult deal, or say even in my assistant manager role, you have a difficult conversation that you have to have, or you're trying to help one of your employees with, say, extra stuff like advancing their career. Sometimes you do stay a little bit later to be able to help with those types of things. But normally it's 40 hours.
Sorry, what did you say your average shift was?
It's about 8:30 till 5 is usually what I work. Yeah, 8:30 till 5 every day. Go ahead.
What do you find is the most rewarding part of the job?
I would say being able to help people realize that, what they are bringing in actually can afford to purchase a house. So I really like to sit down with younger people, or people just starting off with their careers, and what do I do? How do I save my money? How do I buy a house in the future? How do I get to $1 million one day? That's really kind of what I enjoy. I also really enjoy the assistant manager part of my job, the job as well. And so the cool thing with being in all those different roles in the bank, when I'm in my job today, I do have people come and ask me, assistant manager stuff, because they want some support, or they want some understanding about how this might work, or different things in the bank works. And because I have all those experiences, I'm able to pull on that for certain people too, which is really fantastic. And then a whole other part of that is I really do enjoy being able to watch someone start their career as a teller and be in a career where they're commercial agricultural manager, which is amazing. So and I have seen that throughout my career. Or you hire somebody and you watch them excel because of just the support that you're providing to them, I think is really huge and really, really important too. So, yeah. What other things did I kind of want to touch on? With the management part of it all, it's really, to me, and that the cool thing that I like about management is that you really kind of have your hands in a lot of different things. So management with the bank, you're really doing a lot of administrative stuff as well. So back-end work, like overdraft tasks, or I could go off on all sorts of different stuff. But you get to do all this back-end work that I really enjoy doing. And then on the other side, you get the aspect of the customer-facing and employee relationship as well, so which is really kind of a cool aspect of the bank. And then the other thing is that, in banking, you could go from a teller to a personal banker and decide that you like commercial and move on to the commercial side of business or the personal side. So there's two complete separate sides of banking that really you could escalate your career either way. And even then into HR and management within banking as well. So there's so many career opportunities.
So would you kind of trace your, you touched on all briefly, but maybe just broaden it a little bit?
Sure.
So from high school, what kind of student you were, and what kind of, you enjoyed math, or did you did you excel and all that? And then to decide to go into business, you didn't know that that's
exactly
what, it was going to lead you into banking, but just business felt like, how was that a fit?
Okay, sounds good. So to be honest with you, I hate math. I absolutely hate math. I suck at math. I failed 3 math courses in university, but I kept excelling, and I was going to pass that 4th time because I wanted to be able to get to that point. So, I'm not the smartest in math at all, and I'm still not. I still work on that, but that is the main aspect of my job. And so, I think it's just really, it's constantly pushing yourself and getting to the point where, you know, you feel comfortable that you can excel your career that way. Yeah, so I mean, you're using that all the time. So I, you know, from college, university, graduated, you know, I didn't really think I wanted to go into banking. You know, I wasn't really sure if that's exactly what I wanted in my life. But as I've been in that role, it's definitely excelled me that way. So, you know, going from right in the beginning, so I've been a customer service representative, all the way to, you know, assistant manager, back to the personal banker, just all sorts of different roles throughout my career, to be able to kind of get to where I am today. And I really, you know, I think it's just you really got to find out what's in you and what's important to you, and meeting customers, communicating with people, understanding them. That's what's important to me, and so that's where I kind of went from there. And I heard from a lot of different people when I was in high school that business was a great way to start, because then at least you are opening a bunch of different doors, because really you could go on your own, just like the first speaker, and start your own business, or you could work for a corporation, or you could, you know, really do anything with a business degree, which is really kind of cool. So now, and even just having a business diploma kind of helps you excel to, you know, a position where even a teller or a personal banker role within the bank, you don't fully have to go all the way to the degree point of it. But you know, it is a good start, and you know, if you're unsure about where you want to go or what you want to do, I'd say the business program is one of the better programs to get in, to kind of open some doors and give you some ideas as to if that's something that's interesting to you. I thought I saw a hand in the back there.
Was it like anything in high school that you could take for like the business, or like do you need anything?
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure. Like when I was in high school, I don't remember that being an opportunity for me at that time. But I mean, like all the courses that I took within high school, so I mean, maybe not the science aspect of it all, but like math, English, writing, all of those things were definitely important aspects to get me to where I am today. So I would say I use those on a everyday basis, writing emails, you know, I sometimes have to write letters to clients. You know, you're writing out your things to our credit officers to have them understand what deal you have in the system. So you have to be able to communicate typed out things in a way that you would speak it as well. So yeah, so there's definitely some interesting aspects of all of that too. And for sure, computer skills, that's another big one as well, like Excel, Word, all those types of things. That's another big one from high school that for sure would escalate to college and my job as well. Did I kind of answer that question fully? Grant? Was that your question?
Yes.
Did I take care of that somewhat?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Well, just because to think about, you know, just the business as a
Yes.
jumping off point. If you don't know, because we have, you know, a lot of science focused, you know, things looming in the future for kids, and then we have our artists, but just like the guy right before us was saying, you know,
Yeah.
just to have that good base of understanding how business works.
Totally, yeah. And like, it really, the cool thing, I mean, the business program could be changed now, but the cool thing is like they teach you a lot about like website management, like how to build your own websites, and like technology pieces about all of that. And like with banking has changed a lot, and now it's really going to be way more technological. And you're going to see, you know, as you see apps and online banking and all that kind of stuff, it's just going to be more and more on the online side. So that's another piece as well, is the technology piece. Go ahead.
I have two questions. The first one is, what is your average age?
Okay, so, you know, when I first started, I started at that $50,000 mark. I'm now, you know, now there's a couple mat leaves in there as well, but I'm at the 55,500 right now. And so that took me, I've been with banking for about 7 years, and so it's taken me about 7 years to get there. But yeah, and I mean, I definitely, I fight for my wage, that's for sure. I definitely, you know, stand up for myself, and I always try to ask for a raise every year. If you don't do that, I find that they just won't do it for you, right? So that's a piece of it. And then another cool piece is that there's bonuses included in the banking as well. So at the end of the year, if you meet all your targets, or your team meets all their targets, you're able to get a bonus as well. And so somebody like a teller that meets their targets and exceeds them substantially, I've seen them earn their wage in just their bonus as well before. So like say they go in at like maybe $25,000 a year is their average salary, they get that as a bonus because of how well they performed in their job. So it's really about performance as well, and you know, if you can make those relationships with your customers and that trust, building that trust with people, to be able to know that you're doing what they need for them, and then from there your career just escalates, and the income that you make. So I make that 50, but I'm really kind of more around that 60, 70 a year, I would say, based on my bonus.
My other one was, what kind of benefits will you get?
Yes, and so benefits are huge with the bank, and so they really, so MSP, which is normally a bill that you pay every month, which will be going away, but they pay for that for me, and my husband and my family, and then they also give you coverage. So I mean, I pay a certain amount of money every paycheck towards them, but I get about 80% coverage on like medical, dental, all of that kind of stuff. So they do medical, dental, there's eye care, there's even family care days, so you know, if you have stuff going on with your family, there's also, you know, you get your vacation, you start off with 2 weeks, and as your things go on, so I'm up to 4 weeks of vacation in a year, so paid vacation. So there's a lot of perks involved with banking for sure, definitely.
What about pension?
Yes, pension as well. Yeah, another big one. So they do pension as well. So you have it like a certain period of time when you first start working with the bank, and then they start contributing. I believe it's 2 years, and then they can start contributing to your pension for you. So that is another piece of it as well, that I do have a pension with the bank.
With being a teller, when is that something that they're eligible to get into?
100%. The banks are constantly looking for reliable people that are, you know, willing to learn and wanting a better paying job. So that is definitely, we are constantly looking for students, people to work on the weekends. You know, the bank's open on Saturdays. Yeah, so it is definitely an opportunity. You do not have to have college, university to start out in the bank. And a lot of people that I know in management positions or in personal banking roles actually don't have college degrees. They might have, you know, a diploma or something along those lines, but they don't actually have a full degree. So you don't have to do that. The bank is really amazing, and they do train you for a lot of courses as well to kind of help excel your career based on what you're willing to do. Any other questions? Yeah, so I mean, overall, like, I enjoy my career. I really like dealing with people. So for me personally, this is like the best opportunity that I've ever really had. And I'm really excited to advance my career. You know, I've been given the opportunity, but I'm just not ready to move yet. So once I'm ready to move, you know, I'll hope to be in my own branch to be able to run that at that time, and then we'll go from there. So, you know, I've just taken that step back for me personally, for my family, but, you know, my career is going to continue to advance as I move forward, so, which is good.
What are some things you don't like about your job?
I would say, you know, there's a lot of bad things that happen in people's lives. So death of family members, or, you know, illnesses, sicknesses. That's hard to hear, you know, because I find, you know, when they trust you, they kind of want to talk a little bit more about stuff. So hearing those things is hard to hear, in my opinion, personally. But, like, overall, you know, I really can't pinpoint anything bad about banking, like that banking industry, in my opinion personally. You know, there's a lot of expected from you in a day, but I think if you manage your day well, you can get it all done. So I would say that is the biggest thing, is just hearing all of the bad things that happen out there in the world.
Haven't seen no somebody for a long time.
Yeah, and saying no, you know, and I've kind of got to a position where, you know, I have a nicer way to position a decline loan to people, so it's not as, you know, your decline from a loan, you know, we have a discussion on what we can do to, you know, get you to the point where we can approve you for this loan, or, you know, something along those lines. So those sometimes can be awful discussions, and I will tell you, my first discussion of that, I remember sitting in my office declining someone from a loan in Trail, and the people jumping up and like just talking down to me like that, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, what do you do, right? But at the same time, I mean, you just kind of learn from all those experiences, and build yourself to a better position to handle that kind of stuff when it happens to you. So, people are pretty respectful though out there. I don't really see that happening very often, or they're disrespectful.
What would be another, so other than, say, working in a banking situation, but so like, you kind of have your thoughts of your career path, getting your own. Oh!
Sit down.
I'm an extension. I'm good. So,
Charlie, you didn't leave.
Thank you so much for listening. And yeah, I have some cards if you want any other question answered. You can just email them, okay?
Can we give her a hand?